Thank you for staying with us. I'm Alex Albritton, your host, and this is the Alex Albritton Show. On a warm, almost hot Friday afternoon. We hope you can stay with us. In the next 20 minutes, we're gonna talk about the Michigan midterms. We are looking pretty good in the state of Michigan for the midterm races. And I'm going to try and have as many of them on this program as possible. I only know a few of them. Some of them are brand new to the political spectrum. But we're going to try and get as many of them on the program as we can. It is critically important, and I do mean critically important, that we get the vote out for the midterms. We got to hit it like never before. So, for those of you who may never have voted before or have sporadically voted, this is the time to hit it, and I do mean hit it strong. The most important race is the race for governor. Former Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan is a candidate for mayor. We'll try and get Mike on the program before, right after the primary. See who makes the cut. Personally, I think Mike Duggan has an extraordinary chance to win this thing. He's running as an independent, which is a shock to some, but I think he stands a better chance to win than if he ran as a Democrat. There are others in the race. For instance, the former Detroit police chief, and I can't call his name right this second, he was in the race. I think he dropped out. And I think there are one or two more in the race on the Democratic side. But I think we're fairly well represented. I do. I've seen races that have been more poorly represented, I'll tell you that. We just got to grind and push and pull and tug for every vote. Every vote.
Jocelyn Benson, Mike Cox, Mike Duggan, Anthony Hudson, John James, and Perry Johnson, and Tom Leonard, and Eric Nesbitt are all running for governor.
On the Democratic ticket?
It's mixed. Chris Swanson, Democratic. Eric Nesbitt, Republican. Mm-hmm. Tom Leonard, Democrat. Perry Johnson, Republican. John James, Republican. Anthony Hudson, Republican. Mm-hmm. Duggan, Democratic, and Cox, Republican, and Jocelyn Benson,
Democrat.
Yep, Democrat.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try and get her on the. Is that one of our callers?
Nobody is calling yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm just listing off. I knew you were talking about the governors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an important race, and we got to play as big a role in it as we possibly can. As I said before, Mike Duggan is a favorite in this race, not just because he's running as an independent, but because he has an extraordinary political career behind him. He just does. And I don't think anybody can refute that. We'll do whatever we can to get him on the program as soon as possible. It's kind of funny that we're in the position we're in the midterm elections. We're strong, stronger than we've ever been. But that's primarily because Trump has done so much to make us strong. I just wonder, would we be as strong as we are if Trump had better numbers in polls? I don't know. But we'll see. I'll make some calls over the weekend, first of the week, and see if over the next few weeks I can get have one political candidate a week on the program to answer questions and just see how it goes out there. You know, it's a funny thing. You can be running ahead this time of year in midterms, and a month later, you can be at the bottom of the poll. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that this time for the Democrats. I want to see them come strong, stay strong, all the way through till election night. So, Caleb, give that number out again. Call us.
Put it on screen. 248-262-5249. 248-262-5249. 248-262-5249.
Okay. That is the phone number. If you'd like to call, questions or comments. We'll be here for another 35 minutes, I think. But we're going to be here every Friday. And I just wonder, are some of my old so-called friends in the audience? People like Kevin Coleman, Bill Wild, and many others. I just wonder, are they in somewhere in the listening audience? Still around. I'm still around. I wonder how the mayor of Westland is faring. Maybe one day after the election I'll have him on the program just to see how he responds. But it's almost time for me to take another break, Mr. Engineer. Again, the number is, read that for the listeners.
248-262-5249.
Slow down.
248-262-5249. 248-262-5249.
Okay, thanks. My engineer, my grandson, doing an admirable job, I might add. He really is. Because he's got a lot to deal with. He's got a lot to deal with, I tell you. But kids nowadays can do many more times what we were able to do or what we thought about doing. They're so adept at computers and electronic instruments. It's just beyond is beyond our ability to comprehend. Because they were born literally with these things in their hand. What are you going to do? Well, this is Alex Albritton, and this is the Alex Albritton Show. We are halfway, a little beyond halfway into the hour. I'm going to take a break, and we'll be back in about 90 seconds. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Alex Albritton, and this is the Alex Albritton Show, a podcast effort, brand new at it. We're going to roll with it every week until we get it absolutely perfect. The telephone number here is area code 248-262-5249. Again, the number is 248-262-5249. That is the number for questions or comments. You're welcome to call, and we'll do our best to entertain your questions or comments. We hope that you will adhere to clean language, and if you do, we'll take the call and we'll have a good conversation. If you don't, we'll terminate the call right away.
Yep. Threats will not be tolerated either.
That's for sure. That is for sure. We can agree to disagree. If you don't like my politics,
don't watch it.
We can still be friendly or respectful. So just keep it above board. We'll be all right. Getting back to what upsets most people nowadays, the current administration is building boot camps for immigrants. And many of them have been stopped in their tracks already by the people that live in those areas. If you have thoughts about it, call. I'd just like to hear what other people think about it. Because they've been stopped dead in their tracks everywhere they put a shovel. I don't know how well they've done in Michigan, but I do know that the gentleman behind much of the effort came from Michigan, and his name is Pulte Realty. most of the prisons in Michigan have been dug and, basically built by Pulte. Clearly a friend of the president, clearly a friend of the Republican Party. But how do you throw someone in a so-called boot camp without due process, without a trial, and think they're just going to stay there for years? I mean, how do you do that? That's what the law is for. It's called due process. And there are those in this administration that seem to have forgotten that. I don't know. This seems pretty clear to me. But some of the people I've seen hauled away into these so-called boot camps have been pretty
violated. They are violating the Sixth and Eighth Amendment. Sixth Amendment says they're supposed to have speedy trials and due process.
right.
The Eighth Amendment, cruel and unusual punishments, or that includes being subject to labor camp.
This is a 13-year-old kid talking. It's unbelievable. But he speaks it so well, and it's the truth. How do you throw someone's life away? How do you do that? Because you just want to? Because you think things will be better if they're not living amongst us? I understand some of that, but there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. It is beyond belief what has been done to certain human beings by ICE and other entities. You can't just throw people away like that. You just can't do it. I appreciate your dissertation, Caleb. It's just, when you really stop and think about it, it's really sad. Really, really sad. Because their future has been just absolutely cut away. I'll grant you that many of them have committed crimes that are just, in some cases, unbelievable. But they still deserve an administration of the law. They still deserve it. Again, the telephone number here is area code 248-262-5249. Again, the area code here is 248-262-5249. That's the number here to the Alex Albritton Show. I'm your host, and I continue to do this program week in and week out for the next umpteen years. No, I'm just kidding. But I intend to do it for quite some time to come. Because the need is there. People need factual information. And that's hard to get nowadays. Factual information. I never thought I'd see the day when factual information would be so hard to get. And I think all of us know who's spewing this. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. When COVID we had a worldwide pandemic. Let me say that again. A worldwide pandemic. Just a few short years ago. And we had people telling us to go and inject bleach into our veins. And that would eliminate the disease in our body. I hope no one actually did that. That was bad information. We lost many, many people to COVID. Again, that was a worldwide pandemic. Something that we had not seen in 100 years. But bleach in the veins was not going to do it. It was not going to do it. And I just hope, it'd be an interesting thing to find out, Caleb. Were there people that actually injected that into their veins and died from it?
I want to say that the thought is possible, but there wouldn't be like a definite way to confirm, unless like agency did that or something like that, or they were charged for it or in trial for it or something like that. There wouldn't be a definite way to know, but I feel like that could have happened before. It could have happened.
Right. People, believe it or not, people pay attention to their leaders. They do. They pay attention to them. And when information is given, they listen to it. And if it's factual, they listen. If it's not factual, they still listen. I'm gonna check into that and see.
We'll look it up real quick.
Yeah. I remember that day very, very well when I was watching.
People were injecting themselves with bleach, or people got injected with bleach?
They were being told that bleach would cure COVID. I hope no one died from that. I really do. But COVID is behind us now. We've got a different disease to deal with. And we've got to deal with it and deal with it effectively.
7 people.
7 people died
in 2020 by injecting themselves with bleach to try to cure COVID-19 during the early sharp increase, like the sharp pandemic.
Wow.
Over 200 people were injured.
What useless death. Useless.
But now, almost every single incident, they did this by themselves. They weren't forcefully injected with bleach.
I understand, but where did they get the information from?
Internet.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Some people probably got it from word of mouth, but 90% of these injuries and stuff like that came from a trend or a rumor that stemmed from the internet to try to use bleach for stuff like that. Because I'm looking at a BBC article, hundreds of people injured due to spread of COVID-19 misinformation via the internet. Because it was one person. It's always one person who starts something on the internet, and then everybody follows that person. It's not always it's not always a group of people or a whole trend to just starts like that. It takes one person to post a Reddit article or a Reddit post or a YouTube short or a TikTok or anything that says, oh, well, let's say COVID-19 was as worse as it is right now, and people were looking for a cure. We didn't have the vaccine or any of that, and people said, and there's one person who wants to spread misinformation, goes on TikTok and says, I had COVID before, and I injected myself with bleach, and I was cured, and there's no way to prove that he actually had that.
I see.
And then that gets in people's algorithms, and people start doing it, and then people get injured.
Wow. 7 people.
Because all it takes is for this to hit your brain or something like that, and you die.
Sure.
And I don't know how these people with these injuries survive, because bleach damages your bloodstream.
Exactly.
Melts your bloodstream from the inside out. That would damage your veins.
You know, I saw the lady who, and I cannot call her name, but she represented the armed forces in the administration, and she cringed when he said that, knowing that it was false information, and I guess she hoped that people wouldn't go out and do it, but that was serious misinformation. Serious misinformation. And I hope there's a change in what we get and from where it comes.
And over 800 people worldwide died also in the first 3 months of the pandemic from drinking methanol, isopropyl alcohol-based cleaning products, or what is this? Antifreeze.
Well, yeah, that's what do they call that? Glycol.
Yeah, but it says where is that at? Yep, at least 800 people died worldwide in the first 3 months of the pandemic due to misinformation. Also by drinking methanol, isopropyl-based cleaning products, or antifreeze, which they wrongly believed to be a cure.
Wow. What can you say? That pretty much speaks for itself. And hope we don't have another pandemic. All I can say. The telephone number here is area code 248-262-5249. Again, the area code is 248-262-5249. That is the number here to the Alex Albritton Show. And I am here to take your calls, questions, or comments. And I'm going to be here week in and week. I'm going to eat this thing out until we get it perfect. By the way, I just want to mention, having spent 20 plus years in this market doing radio, and another 3 plus years at station 910 AM. When you get out of this chair, damage to your rhythm, the way you deliver information, news and information, entertainment, it changes. And it takes a minute to get that back. That rhythm is very, very important. And I don't profess for a
Voice feedback on,
moment.
press 3 times to turn off.
That was weird.
On screen.
That was weird.
Yeah, was that a caller?
No, phone just glitched.
Okay. It takes a minute to get back in the saddle. And I'm committed to get back into the saddle. For as long as it takes, doesn't matter. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for the listening audience. So just know that I'm here giving it the best I can. And I hope you can bear with me. That number here is the area code 248-262-5249. Any calls or questions can be directed to that phone number. I was going to say something. Oh, I know what it was. There seems to be a lag in the kind of enforcement that was being executed by ICE. It's clearly too heavy-handed, clearly lethal in many cases. I wonder, is that because the Democrats are playing, we'll wait to give you more money, or what? It just seems to be different and better. I hope they can work that out. I hope it gets better. Tolerant. I really do. Because this has been just a death squad, pretty much. We're not supposed to live in a country like that. Not for a minute. Well, my friend, the clock on the wall has ticked once again. Please join us again here for the Alex Albritton Show. I am your host, Alex Albritton, and it's been a pleasure as always. I hope that you can take away something that you didn't have when you tuned in. I hope you tuned in, okay? I've been in this radio game for 20 plus years, and I've disseminated a lot of information, all of it factual. People have come up to me and said, thank you for the job you're doing. And I've tried with everything I had to get truth and factual information out into the community, because I knew how important it was. But it's more important than ever now. This is do or die. Do or die. But I want to thank those of you who listened. And over all these years, I've always closed my program the same way. I wish you good luck, good health, and God bless. Take care.